There's a kind of silence a man learns to live with as he gets older. It's not the absence of noise. It's the absence of being heard. You wake up one morning and realize the strength you once carried down there, in your core, in your presence, has softened. Not just physically, but emotionally too, and no one ever warned you that this part of manhood might fade in whispers instead of storms. You didn't lose it all at once. It was gradual, a hesitation, a quieter morning. A moment where desire didn't rise the way it used to, and you told no one, because what could you say? The world doesn't make space for a man to speak softly about his body, especially when it comes to this. You're expected to keep moving, keep working, keep functioning, but inside, there's a quiet ache, not just for pleasure but for vitality, for proof that you're still here, still strong, still needed. And so you carry it, this silent, invisible grief, like an old radio that used to hum with life, broadcasting your signal loud and clear, but now it just sits there, muted, forgotten, even by you. But here's a truth the noise of the world doesn't tell you. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You've simply gone unheard. Your body still holds wisdom, still speaks, but the language has changed. It no longer shouts, it whispers, and maybe now is the time to start listening, not with frustration, not with fear, but with quiet curiosity, because beneath the silence, something in you is still alive, still waiting, still strong, and in that stillness, the beginning of trust returns. The language your body still speaks. There was a time when you moved without thinking, not with force, but with flow. When your body wasn't something you managed, it was something you were, but then, slowly, the connection faded, not all at once, just enough for you to stop noticing. The weight of aging, the medications, the subtle betrayals the body you once trusted became quieter. Not broken, just muted, and somewhere along the way, you stopped listening, because it stopped speaking the way you once understood. But here's the truth most men never hear. Your body never gave up on you. It's just been speaking a different language, a slower language, one made of pressure points, pulses, temperature, and breath. A language the noise of the world has made almost impossible to hear. You were never disconnected, you were just taught to tune it out. And now the whispers are still there, waiting for your presence, not your performance, not your perfection, just your quiet attention. It might feel mechanical at first, like stretching out a leg that's been asleep too long. But the feeling returns, not in a rush, not like it used to, but in small waves of remembrance. The body does not forget, not your strength, not your desires, not your touch. It simply hides its roots beneath the snow, and waits for the sun of your awareness to return. So press gently, breathe slowly, and notice what stirs beneath the surface, because beneath the years, beneath the weight, beneath the silence, there is still life. Still longing, still language. You haven't lost your body. You've just stopped hearing the way it speaks, and now you're beginning to listen again. The first point below the navel, the fire sleeps, there's a place just below your navel. Quiet, unnoticed, a few inches beneath the surface, not just skin, but memory. You may not think much of it anymore, but this space once held the pulse of your vitality, the heat that stirred when you were 20. When desire was effortless, when mornings were hard and touch was electric. Now perhaps it feels muted, not broken, just distant, like a fire that burned for years and slowly sank into ash, not gone, only sleeping. This is the first point, a few finger widths below your navel, a place many ancient traditions called the lower furnace, because this is where energy was made, not just physical, but masculine, emotional, grounded. Press there, gently, not with force, but with presence. Feel it, not just the muscle or skin, but the warmth that slowly returns, as if you are blowing softly on old embers, not to make a fire for others to see, but simply to remember that it's still there, waiting for you. You don't need pills to feel alive. What you need is to touch yourself like you matter, to bring awareness to the places you've neglected, not because of shame, but because of silence. When you press this point daily, slowly, thoughtfully, something subtle begins to shift. Not just circulation, but connection. Not just arousal, but a sense of return to yourself. Your body has not betrayed you. It's been whispering, waiting for your attention, your breath, your return, and here, beneath the navel, the fire has not died. It only needs a little air, and a little time. This is not technique. It's not magic. It's a practice of remembrance, a quiet devotion to the man you still are, and the warmth that still lives in you. Absolutely. Here's the continuation. The second point, inner thigh, the forgotten path. There's another place you've likely overlooked. Not because it's unimportant, but because over the years it's become invisible, covered in habit, in tension, in quiet defense. The inner thigh, that soft, hidden stretch between your leg and groin. It once lit up with sensation, with anticipation, but somewhere along the way you stopped noticing it, or maybe you stopped letting yourself feel it, and yet, this is where so much is stored, not just blood, but emotion, not just nerves, but memory. Think of this space like an overgrown path in a forest, a trail once walked often, now thick with vines. It hasn't vanished. It's only waiting to be cleared. Gently, when you press here slowly, patiently, you may notice resistance. Not physical pain, but a subtle clenching, as if the body is guarding something old, and afraid to let go. Breathe with it. Hold presence, not pressure. Let your touch become a kind of listening, because here, in the folds of this forgotten path, lives the part of you that was told to toughen up, to stay composed, to disconnect, just to survive. But manhood does not need to be hard all the time. There is strength in softness. There is power in being able to feel. And the inner thigh, this second point, is an invitation to feel again, not just sexually, but emotionally, to reclaim sensation that isn't about performance but presence. You'll feel warmth start to spread, like sunlight slowly cutting through leaves. Circulation improves, yes, but more importantly, you improve. You come back to your own skin. This is not a quick fix. It's a path you walk daily, not to get somewhere, but to remember where you've always belonged. This point, this path was never gone. It was only waiting for your return. The third point, base of the shaft, the root of power, this final point, is the most private, the most vulnerable, and perhaps the most misunderstood. It rests at the base of your shaft, where the organ meets the body. Not high or showy, but deep-rooted, foundational. Most men never touch this place with presence. They skip past it, rush toward the goal, or only visit it through the lens of function, never reverence. But this point, this root, is where your deepest masculine current begins. It's the anchor, the base of your power, not the kind you show others, the kind you carry quietly, like a mountain carries stone. When you place your fingers there, not with urgency, but with respect, you may feel something stir, not just in your body, but in your sense of self. It's like tracing the foundation of a temple. Weathered, cracked, but still standing tall, still sacred, this point connects to blood flow, yes, but more than that. It connects to identity, to dignity, to the I am behind all that you've done. When you press and hold, slowly, mindfully, you remind yourself that you are not dependent on what others think. You are not fading. You are returning, returning to the strength that never needed proving, returning to a sensation that doesn't need to perform, returning to the root of you. Here, in this third point, lies something that no pill can restore, because no pill can give you back what disconnection took. Only presence can do that, and in that quiet moment, as you breathe into your root, you may feel something you haven't felt in years, yourself, whole, held, alive, not aroused in the way the world defines it, but awake, in a way that matters, and that is power. The daily ritual more than erections. There's a quiet truth no one tells you. Healing doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in the return, again, and again, and again, not to who you were, but to who you still are, underneath the noise. These 3 points on your body below the navel, along the inner thigh, and at the base of the shaft, they're not tricks. They're not shortcuts. They are invitations. To begin your day not with worry or speed, but with presence, to make contact with yourself before the world asks anything of you, to place your hand where you've been distant, to say, without words, I remember you. I still trust you. I haven't left you. Because this daily ritual, this slow, simple act of touch, it isn't just about erections. It's about aliveness, about energy that flows when you show up with care, about hormone rhythms that respond to attention, about blood that moves where there is warmth, and confidence that rises. When connection is restored, it doesn't need to be long, a few minutes each morning, before the rush, before the noise, just you, your breath, your body. No goals, no pressure, only reverence. You may notice things shift, stronger erections, yes, more consistent energy, a quiet lift in your mood, but those are side effects. The real change, it happens in your relationship with yourself. You begin to move through your day differently, not reaching for validation, not chasing lost youth, but rooted, steady, awake. You don't need to chase sensation like a younger man. You need to return to sensation like a wiser one. And with each press of your fingertips, each breath into forgotten places, you are reminding your body and your spirit, I am still here. I still matter. This body is still mine to care for. It may feel subtle at first, but over time it becomes a rhythm, a ritual, a quiet light you carry into every part of your life, not for others to see, but for you to feel, because this was never just about hardness. It was always about wholeness. And it begins each day with a single, sacred touch. Absolutely, here's a seamless transition into the gentle closure of the entire script. This soft epilogue offers your emotionally mature audience a final moment of rest, resonance, and quiet reflection. A life touched back into presence, so now you know. Not a secret, not a trick, just remembering. A path back to the man within the man, the one who never disappeared, only dimmed, waiting. These 3 points aren't about performance, they're about presence, the kind of presence that turns routine into ritual. And aging into awakening. You are not less of a man because time has passed. You are more lived, more layered, more able to hold tenderness and power in the same breath. And that's what this quiet practice becomes. A conversation with yourself, each day a chance to say, I am not done. I still feel. I still carry fire. Not for anyone else, not to impress or prove, but because this is your body, your breath. You're becoming, so as you wake tomorrow and the next morning after that, take a moment before the world comes rushing in to return to your own skin, to your own still, burning core, and remember, the flame never left. It only needed your hand, your breath, your trust to rise again.